From fighting deadly abyssal monsters to playing ball games, from fighting with the Pyro Archon to negotiating with the Shade of Death, and from being a mere spectator to becoming the people's hero, Natlan's 5.3 Archon quest closed the curtains for one of the most anticipated stories released in Genshin Impact. But today in this video we are not going to be covering the entire Archon quest, but instead we are going to be answering a far more important question. Is Capitano really dead? And does this mean that Capitano is not going to be playable? Well, not exactly, but let's find out. Now we will be starting off with the part that intrigued us the most, the part which sent us to the deepest, darkest corners of emotional instability, the part where we bid farewell to the number one harbinger, Capitano. Capitano, whose real name was Thrain, held the title of Sentinel Knight in Kandria. With the help of Kandrian technology, his heart was modified into a vessel which could convert memories and souls of the ley lines into knowledge. But after coming to Natlan, seeing that the souls of his fellow Kandrians and Natlanese had nowhere to go, he took it upon himself to use his heart to store all these fallen souls until they had somewhere to go. Since Runova the Shade of Death was demanding Mawika's death as price for using her power, the captain, a soul of equal weightage as the Pyro Archon, decides to step in as the sacrifice instead of Mawika. This was made possible because of the Lord of the Night, who as an angel couldn't overlook her duty to serve humans, and because Capitano's immortal life force would be able to save the dying Lord of the Night and restore Natlan's ley lines completely, as opposed to Mawika's life force, which would only be able to sustain the Lord of the Night for another 100 or 200 years. But the death of a person cursed with immortality would go against the natural order of the world, something not even the Shade of Death can bear the consequences of. So having convinced the Shade of Death, Capitano uses his immortal life force to sustain the dying Lord of the Night and merges his existence with Yohualtekutin to become the master of the ley lines. By doing so, Capitano has achieved the sweet release of death he has long awaited for, and has fulfilled his promise of sending the lost souls he carried so far to the Night Kingdom. And after 500 long years of insomnia and raging voices inside his head, the captain has been able to sleep at long last. Now, for a character who has gone through so many hardships for the sake of others, there could not be a more perfect ending to this sad story. But the real question is, does this mean our favorite harbinger won't be playable anymore? Well, unlike Signora, who got deleted, there might be a possibility for Capitano to come back. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of theories have been going around regarding Natlan's roster having a 17th character, which they didn't teach in the livestream, and that this 17th character could be Capitano and such stuff, but I want to theorize how the story so far might have hinted at Capitanos Return. The major plot points hinting at Capitanos Return are: Number 1. Capitano is still breathing. Now I know this might not be a strong point as it could be an animation error they overlooked, but Capitano, when seated on the throne of primal fire after merging his existence with the Lord of the Night, kind of appears to be breathing, if you look closely. This seems like a Schrodinger's cat situation, or more like Schrodinger's Capitano situation. Is he alive, or is he dead, or is he alive and dead? Who knows? Now logically, since he merged his existence with the Lord of the Night, he should be alive, because the Lord of the Night is alive and kicking now. But since he transferred his immortal life force to Yohualtekutin, he should die, right? Maybe not. Maybe this just means that Capitano's life force no longer depends on the curse, but now depends on the ley lines. Just like how the Lord of the Night weakened in power and was dying because of the abyss's corruption of the ley lines, maybe Capitano might only truly die if the ley lines get destroyed, which may not happen anytime in the future given how Natlan was rid of the abyss. Number 2. Capitano's mythological inspirations. Capitano, whose real name is Thrain, is most probably inspired from the Icelandic mythos of Romandr, where Thrain is a former king of Valand who became a Draugr, which is a kind of undead creature. Thrain is later said to be found within a tomb holding a sword called Misteltein, which is clearly referred in Capitano's final pose. Moreover, the throne he is sitting on is the throne of primal fire belonging to Xbalanque. This could be a reference to Hunahpu, who was Xbalanque's twin according to Mayan mythology. Xbalanque and Hunahpu were Mayan hero twins who cheated the rulers of the underworld and beat them in a board game. This is clearly referenced in Genshin Impact, where Xbalanque almost cheated Ronova to borrow her powers and establish the rules of Natlan. Similarly, Capitano also threatened or negotiated with Ronova in order to exact his revenge over the curse of Khaenri'ahn immortality and also to fix the ley lines of Natlan. Also in the Mayan mythos, it is said that Xbalanque later becomes the moon and Hunahpu becomes the sun. But since in Genshin the Pyro Archons are more akin to the sun as mentioned in multiple places, Xbalanque could be the sun in Genshin while Capitano could be the moon. This makes sense because Capitano is now practically the Lord of the Night who guides souls to the Night Kingdom. Now Xbalanque, according to Mawika's story quest, was able to come back to the mortal realm for one day due to winning the bet he made against Ronova for Natlan's triumph over the Abyss. While Ronova isn't going to be doing Capitano any favors, maybe the Lord of the Night might be able to. Just like how Xbalanque possessed the child to wander the mortal realm of Natlan, maybe the Lord of the Night could possess Capitano and maybe come back to Teyvat. Number 3 and the most important one is Guthred. During the part of the quest where we venture into the Night Kingdom in search of Goseitoth, we are helped by the souls of deceased Natlan characters like Vichama, Bona, Malka, and surprisingly, Guthred. The Night Kingdom doesn't allow souls that are in Natlanese. Then why is Guthred, who is a Khaenri'ahn, here? Interestingly, this is not the real Guthred, but a story created by the Natlanese. The great Khaenri'ahn doctor who created the Draught of Lucidity and saved many lives was a very famous tribal legend curated by the people of Natlan. As such, this Guthred is also very different from the actual Guthred. The one in the Night Kingdom was warm and kind as opposed to how Guthred was in real life. Now according to Mawika, heroic tales of Thrain have also been around Natlan as well. The great Khaenri'ahn captain who saved countless lives and led Natlan to victory. Moreover, after the Archon quest, the 3 main heroes being told in the stories are Mawika, Traveler, and Capitano, which means just like Guthred, Capitano also might manifest in the Night Kingdom as a story which, with the help of the Lord of the Night, could maybe even one day continue where Capitano left off. Something more interesting to be noted is that in the Natlan teaser that was released before 5.0, we can see that the Pilgrimage of the Sacred Flame actually constitutes a ball game and is more towards a sports-related tournament than the Night Warden Wars. This was confirmed by Mawika in a story quest where she states that the Pilgrimage of the Return of the Sacred Flame is more of a strength-based competition since the threat of the Abyss no longer looms over Natlan. This gives the possibility that the events happening in the Natlan teaser could be taking place after the current 5.3 Archon quest got over. And since Capitano is also shown within that teaser and even asked by Mawika whether he was brave enough to compete, maybe Capitanos' return back to Teyvat is not entirely impossible. Also, it seems to me that the Tsaritsa is already aware of Capitanos' plans and probably didn't feel the need to stop him. Moreover, according to the Mondstadt Fatui members, the number 1 seat is being left as it is, as though just like us, the Tsaritsa too is anticipating the day the captain returns. So that's it for the video, you guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you think Capitano would be playable or not in the comments down below. Also do check out my other content and don't forget to subscribe, as I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.